beside you, sleep, slap him, nudge him, elbow him. Say, woo! That's rude. Ah, amen. I know you're tired, but I'm the only thing between you and dinner and a nap. Oh, I see you shaking your head. Amen. Well, I better behave myself because they're recording me. So, John chapter 15 and verse 1. I am the true vine. You know that? You know what that means? That means there's many vines. But he said, I am the true. And my Father is the husbandman. He's the gardener. He's the farmer. He's the one that planted the vineyard. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, cuts it back. Wow. That it may bring forth more fruit. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Abide in me. That don't mean just pass by and visit me. On your own time, look at that word abide. Really look at it. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine, no more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vine. Ye are the branches. He that abideth in me and I in him, the same, bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, he can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered. And men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you. And herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. So, after this manner, shall you be my disciples. Let's lift our hands one more time and ask God to help us remain in this service. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. God bless you. You can be seated if you're going to help me. I'm going to do my best to be out of here in short order. Hallelujah. But now I've seen short orders of the rest of turn into long ones. So pray, saints, and pray. Hallelujah. In the text that I read to you today, Jesus actually is talking to his disciples in the final moments of ministry before the fulfillment of the prophetic occurs, and he is taken away from them. And I realize how important it is to pay particularly close attention to final words. Has anybody heard the final words of a loved one? Have you experienced that? They are powerful, important words in our life, are they not? Yes. Hallelujah. Some of the last words that my wife spoke to me, she rolled over kind of on her right side, reached over and pulled me down close to her. Unbelievable strength for how weak she was. And she looked at me and she said, Daddy, I want to go home. And I looked at her and I said, you get to go home tonight. Was that given up? No, it wasn't given up. It was faith to cross over. It was the ultimate faith to cross over. And those final words are words that I hear almost on a daily basis. But the scripture said, finally, my brethren. And anytime you hear the words finally or in conclusion of the matter, then your ear needs to listen with a greater intensity, because it is the teacher's last attempt to convey a profound truth before he concludes a matter and exits the stage, and then we are left without opportunity. And the things that we wish we had said or heard are now lost opportunities and gone. And so today our words are that we are listening to Jesus in the secret chambers of his presence with his disciples. And he is teaching them something that I'm not too certain today that the church has totally learned. Because we learn rules real good. And that don't mean rules are bad. But we have a way of learning rules. And I never will forget Mama talking about how that desire came up to her when she was just a little girl. And she said, Sister Chris, she said, now, I want to be Pentecostal. And she said, I want you to tell me all the rules. Hallelujah. And of course, Sister Chris in her wisdom knew just exactly how to talk to desire. And over the years, we learned that while rules are important, relationship with God is what gives a foundation for rules. Now, I'm probably going to scream and yell in a few minutes because I know how excited you are about being in church, and I don't want to disappoint you. Praise God. But I want to say that the way we address rules is actually worship that pays credence to the foundation of worship that we have and relationship in our life. Many folks can change in the twinkling of an eye. Many of them, all they got to do is just get another preacher. And that's what they did. Because they got preacher religion. They got rule book religion. Hallelujah. So when the rules change, they change. But when you get a relationship with God, and you understand that the foundation of that relationship and what you do, where you go, where you don't go, what you see, what you don't see, what you hear, what you don't hear. Am I making sense? Amen. What you wear, what you don't wear. The way you appear and the way you should not appear. All of that is not rules. It's symptoms of how much you love God. Hallelujah. It isn't about what I have to do to love him. It's what I want to do to love him. And if we find out what pleases God, then that's what we ought to do, is please God. Now, if you husbands find out what pleases your wife, you'd be a fool, amen, not to feed that relationship by doing what pleases her. Not as a rule, but as an expression of your love. And if you women know what pleases your husband. By the way, you women's got it pretty good. The Bible talked about loving your husbands, but it told your husband to love your wife even as Christ loved the church. Now, loving him means if, he wants to go to Burger King and you want to go to McDonald's, you may not get to go to Burger King. That's right. That means, wives obey your husbands. But now I'm going to tell you something. The man has a rigid deal on him because he's got to love you like Christ loved the church. That means that leadership in the home has got to be about, not about authority, not about who's boss, but how much you love God and how that love for God is expressed in the love for your family, the way you treat your wife. I got off on all this. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So living for God. People say, well, I don't agree with all those standards. Well, you know what? That's cool. But that don't mean you can disobey. It just means that there's a lack of worship in your life. A lack of love for God in your life. Now don't come up here and tell me that you're loving God in your bikini. You loving something, but it ain't God. Standards do change. Times change. Trends change. But modesty is eternal. And it never changes. Okay. Better get with it. Relationship. You can be seated if you want to. Hallelujah. Of course, you won't bother me either way. Praise God. Amen. Relationship. And we've got to understand the significance of relationship. Wow, that's the longest 8 minutes, shortest 8 minutes I think I've ever preached. Praise God. We need reproduction.
Right.
Come on, am I making sense?
Right.
We need to reproduce.
Right.
There needs to be fruit.
Right.
Come on. You cannot have reproduction where there is no relationship. You can obey the rules and do all the right things, but if there is no foundation of relational worship, and if you don't understand in your heart of all hearts, come on, that your obedience to the rules and what all is worship unto the Lord, then there's not going to be any reproduction because there's no relationship. He said, I am the true vine and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, I take it away. And every branch in me that beareth fruit, I cut it back. I purge it, that it might bring forth more fruit. He wants them to understand who they are in relationship to Him. He said, I'm the vine. You are the branches. And if you don't understand your place in the kingdom, then you're going to find yourself trying to do something that only God can do. And many Christians are frustrated because we're spending all of our energy trying to be our own God. You can't even invent so much as a fruit fly, and here you are trying to invent a God yourself. Okay, I'm just going to get into it, okay? We're trying to solve our own problems. We're trying to answer our own prayers. Promote our own ministries. Climb up the ladders, it says, trying to bless ourselves and heal ourselves and encourage ourselves. What do you say? We're trying to cover up for God because we don't think God's doing it quick enough, and we're standing in like some sort of cheap, uneducated substitute teacher. Trying to make God look good through human efforts, and it cannot be done. Again, He said, I am the vine. You are the branches. So, my point is, I know you can't believe I'm getting to the point this early. But my point is, all you have to do is hang on to me. So I guess now would be a good time to tell you what I'm preaching. is staying connected. Hallelujah. Praise God. Praise God. Amen. All you got to do is get in your place and trust Him to give you what you need. He said, I will. Somebody say, I will.
I will.
Say, I will.
I will.
Say, I will.
I will.
I will supply all your needs. Not according to your circumstances, but according to the riches of His glory. That means if you need water, you ain't got to read forecast or go to the weather page and understand and find out whether it's going to come. Because we are not fed through that which comes from around us. We are fed from that which comes from within us. The important thing is that we have a godly connection. Not just a connection with church, because many of us are so connected with church that we're not connected with God. Now, I know that God said that He'd build His church and the gates of hell would not prevail against it. But that's the church as an organism. I'm talking about the church as a structured thing or the order of the thing. If there were no God at all, we'd still struggle for positions because that's human nature. Like Saul, we're more concerned about the position instead of being like David, who was worried about the present. Somebody look at the preacher and say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's too early for that, ain't it? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You can be seated. You hardly hear of anyone ever getting on the altar saying, make me better, Lord. Make me better, Lord. Not really. Most of the time we're praying, make me bigger, Lord. You know how I do. Make me more successful, Lord. Make me more recognized. Open more opportunities for me. And Jesus is responding the whole time, and He's saying, I'm the vine. You're the branches. What are you telling me? That I'm subservient? That I'm beneath you? No. I'm telling you, I'm the vine, and you're connected. Okay. I ain't got it yet, do you? Okay. Now, I don't have time. But if I did, I'd talk about how in another chapter the apostles discussed how we were grafted into the branch. Grafted into the branch.
Right.
I mean, we weren't even supposed to be there, folks.
Right.
Us Gentiles.
Right.
Amen. But as Israel was moved out, we were grafted in. And anytime anything is grafted, that means that the bark or the branch or the vine has to be severely cut. Not cut in two, not cut off, but cut into so that the branch might be connected. Hallelujah, hallelujah. He was wounded for my transgression. My God, have mercy. He was bruised from. God, I felt something sweep through this house. Thank God for the power of the word to heal and deliver. God, He was wounded for my transgression. He was bruised for my iniquity. The chastisement of my peace was upon Him. And with His stripes we are healed. Roman soldier that pierced Him in the side, because when it did, He opened up a way. He cut into the vine. You didn't get that, did you? Come on now. We see agony. We see pain. I see a Roman soldier opening up the vine. Hallelujah. That I might be grafted into the covenant of Abraham and receive the blessings of the Lord. me to be blessed. As long as I meet God, I will always be blessed because He is the vine and I am the branch, and the blood that flows through Him flows through me. You got to know where your help comes from. It comes from the Lord. Hallelujah. And if you don't understand that, you're going to waste time trying to chase silly people who ain't got any more power than you do. And you'll live in this little realm where if they don't give you the nod and pat you on the head, then you're miserable. And you don't feel like you fit into the clique and the clan and the club. And you feel miserable. But blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. I am blessed through the vine. I am healed through the vine. I am delivered through the vine. I prosper through the vine. My promises are in the vine. My business is in the vine. My future is in the vine. Whatever I need is in the vine. And all I gotta do is stay connected. Woo. Come on, look at your neighbor and scream it at him. Stay connected. Oh, tell him again, will you? Woo. Hallelujah to God. I just want to stay grafted in. The word graft means to be meshed in, to be tied in, to be knotted together. Not just until you get a welding action or an adhesion. Oh, it's way beyond that. But to be meshed, tied, or knotted together until the cells of the branch and the cells of the vine have fused and melded together. It's more than adhesion. This is more than super glue or pipe dope. Come on. PVC glue. This is way more than that. This is where the cells of the branch change upon connection with the vine. And the vine changes. Hallelujah. Until it's no more two things, but it's one thing. That's why you can be healed today, because of the vine. Woo. Thank God for the presence of God. Instead of us trying to be meshed in and tied in and fitted together to become one with God, we spend all our energy trying to be meshed in, tied in, and fitted in with people. And at the end of it, your mind's confused and your feelings are hurt and your spirit's upset, because when people get through with you, they throw you away like yesterday's refuse.
Amen.
But thanks be unto God. If you ever get tied into Jesus, gotcha. Woo! Help me, folks. I'm having too much fun. If you ever get wrapped up, tied up, tangled up in Jesus, wrapped up, tied up, tangled up in Jesus, wrapped up, tied up. Oh, that's too old, ain't it? Tangled up in Jesus, wrapped up, tied up, tangled up in God. If you ever get tied and meshed into Jesus, though the storms keep on raging in your life, you can always be fed, whether you're in the mountain or in the valley or wherever you are. If God be for you, and who can be against you? Who in the world can be against you? Somebody tell somebody else right near you, He's for me. He's for me. Church, shout it. He's for me. Tell him I'm staying connected. waste your energy trying to fix what don't work. Because every branch in me that beareth not fruit, I'll take it away. He said, I'm going to move it. You ain't got to worry about it. You ain't got to move it. God moves it. You ain't got to straighten it out. God will straighten it out. You ain't got to fix it. Oh, you ain't, come on. Go fix it. You ain't got to fix it. God will fix it. You ain't got to answer it. God will answer it. You ain't got to resolve it. God will resolve it. My struggle is to understand that even though the good branch gets cut, that it might bring forth more good fruit. And you have to understand that. Because if you don't understand that, you're in trouble. Am I still interested in anybody? I got to preach at least 30 minutes. Help me out here. Praise God. He said, I'm going to take the best of the branches. Do you feel yourself getting cut? It means you're one of the best of the branches.
All right. Hallelujah.
Duh. I'm really fixing to get passe. Do he? See, ain't none of y'all remember that. Hallelujah. I'm getting old. Man. He said, I'm going to take the best of the branches. Those that remain and are not cut away, the ones that he didn't just cut and take away, the best ones that remain, and I'm going to cut them back. I won't cut them off, but I'm going to cut them back.
Right.
Until you produce some fruit and lose it. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You got to understand this. That's what the church will talk about. Because we love talking about addition, but we don't talk about subtraction. We talk about multiplication, but we don't talk about division. And we've not told people that you can be a good branch tied into a good vine and receive a good source and produce good fruit and lose that fruit. Every branch in me that beareth good fruit, I purge it. I cut it back. It's mine, but I'm still going to cut it back. See, that's what you've got to understand. Ye are not your own, but ye are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are the Lord's. Am I making sense to anybody? It's mine, but I'm still going to cut it back. Why, God? Because I've got a plan for it. I've got a destiny for you. There may be a prophecy over your life, but I'm going to still cut. And when that happens, it's such a shock because a prophecy talks about abundance. And when you first got the prophecy, you shouted all over the church because you had a few breaks, you know, and you could see how in a few years if you held on. There were a few little breaks you had, you know, you was going to be successful. And then right in the middle of your wonderful plans, your branches are cut back, not cut off, but cut back. And you don't look good. There's one thing Christians don't like to do, and that's look bad. And so we don't have to feel good, and we don't have to be good, but we gotta look good. And so we cannot afford to let anybody know that we're having a bad day. We always gotta look good. But God is saying that if you're gonna walk with Him, and if you're gonna be connected with Him, sometimes you're gonna look bad. You're going to be mad. And you're going to look bad sometime, but I'm going to put you on display. I'm going to let you look bad. I'm going to cut you back. I'm going to purge you. And you're going to see decrease, and you're going to have less. Oh, preacher, I don't need to hear that today. Something that you thought would always be there is going to go. And you're going to have to trust me when things look like they're going backwards. Anybody can believe God when things are going forward. But it takes real faith to believe God when things are going backwards. You've got to make it up in your mind. Amen. That whether you're going to, you got to make it up in your mind. the pit, have I not spoken it? Shall I not perform? My God, I feel faith in this house. I'm going to try to find a place to land this airplane. Praise God. Some of us are trying so hard to hang on to what little fruit we got. We're spending all of our energy trying to keep something that God's trying to cut. We're stressed out, nervous breakdowns, heart attacks, trying to hold on to something. I'm going to make it happen. No, you ain't doing that. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it work. The reason people do that is because they don't believe that if they lose this, that they can get anything else. And so, I'm trying to see whether you're praying or sleeping. Hallelujah. That's okay. That's cool. Amen. Praise God. I dare you to make it up in your mind that if this goes, God will give you something else. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I love every one of them. My God, have mercy. I don't see how I can do without you. You're my family. Praise God. But if you go, God will send somebody else.
Yeah. Amen.
Sometimes God cannot bless us because we can't get the spirit of release. Having the spirit of release doesn't mean that He's going to make you let go. It's just part of our relationship with God that we prove ourselves willing to accept what He has for us. Oh, you ain't got that. You ain't got that, dude. I dare you to get the spirit of release and get to the point where you're able to let things go. Anybody can snatch and grab. But it takes faith to open your hand to God and say, I trust you when it goes. I trust you when relationships and people go, and I trust you when friends goes. Because if I would have needed it, I would have kept it. I opened my hand to you, God. That's real worship. That's real worship. I open my hand to you. Do whatever you want to do. Send whoever you want to send. Take away whoever you want to take away. I'll praise you when they come, and I'll praise you when they go. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus Christ and His righteousness. The power of staying connected. It takes great peace to accept the times that we're in. It takes great peace to keep a cool head in a hot storm. To take bad news and keep a good attitude. To stop trying to manipulate your own life and everybody that gets in your life, trying to make it turn out the way you want it to turn out, and just step back and let God do it. You know why we don't do that? Because we are lacking in our faith and our worship of the Lord. Because God, when God says that, when God tells you to let go, it don't mean you're going to lose. It means you're going to trust Him. There's some of you that are still in this church today that sometimes you vacillate on the point of giving up on what God told you. Yes. You need to learn how to trust Him. Yes. I open my hand to you, God. Yes. That don't mean you're going to lose. That means you're going to trust. Yes. Come on, folks. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And you know what? You know what's going to happen then? He's going to take you from faith to faith. Yes. From glory to glory. And He's going to walk you up steps and stages. You cannot get to the second step while you're still holding on to the first one. You've got to learn to let go of then so you can possess the now. And some of us are aborting our own successes because we're trying to hold on and save what God has done. Come on. Hallelujah. I'm making sense? And there are seasonal blessings. Fruit comes in all seasons. there are people that God sends into your life for a particular time in your life. You may not be able to hold on to them for the rest of your life.
True.
But they are used as a bridge or a catalyst to get you from one degree of faith to the next degree of faith.
Right.
No. You don't go from this degree of faith off into the abyss of dispossession. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from this step to this step to this step. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Wouldn't it blow? I really got to close. Hallelujah. Because if I go much further, I'm going to have to go much further. So I better close. And just tell you, wouldn't it blow the devil's mind? Anybody ready to blow the devil's mind?
Come on. Yeah.
Is anybody in love with the devil the way he slaps you around? Huh? Just messed in your life? Excuse me.
Come on.
Oh yeah, you really appreciate the devil, right? You ready to pat him on the back and pat him on the head and tell him what a good feller he is? You're doing a good job, devil. I don't think there's anybody feel like that. Not a person in this house feels like that. I hate him. I hear my wife today in my mind say, we don't like him in him.
That's right.
Have you ever heard her say that? We don't like him in him. We don't like that old devil. We don't like him in him. I don't like him. He ain't nothing but a sawed-off runt. He's a toothless tiger. He has no claws. About all he's got is a psychological edge through his roar. And an old lion, an old toothless lion, an old clawless lion is a roaring lion. He don't have any power but the power you give him. And so, with that in mind, wouldn't it blow the devil's mind if you looked around and something he thought was real important to you, and it got cut away, and you didn't freak out, and you didn't stress out, you didn't have a nervous breakdown, and you didn't spend the rest of your life trying to make something happen that God didn't want to happen at that time, and you came in the church. Oh my God. Oh! The cue card says, get ready here. Instead of freaking out, instead of messing up, instead of getting a bad attitude, instead of getting depressed and giving up on God, not trusting His Word. Oh, hallelujah. I'm sorry I'm boring some of y'all. Y'all need a good praying through. That's what's happening. Hallelujah. Praise God. Instead of freaking out, hey man, you just, all right, devil, you thought you was going to put me down? You might as well look at the rest of those that's sitting on your pew and say, you might as well pull your feet back. You might as well get your Gucci handbag out of the way. You might as well get your alligator shoes out of the way. I'm getting my tambourine out, and I'm fixing to beat the bells off that thing. I'm fixing to dance and praise God and rejoice. And if I ain't got a tambourine, I've got a hand. I'm fixing to clap my hands. You know what that means? That means I trust you even when I can't trace you. Oh yeah. That means, God, that you don't have to explain the plan because you already gave me the purpose. And I know that the purposes of God standeth sure, having this seal, the Lord knoweth them that are His. So anyway you take me, when it's all said and done, all things, I said all things. That means even the bad things are going to work together for good of them that love the Lord, who are the called according to It shall remain. Glory to God. Hallelujah. He wants to get us from fruit to more fruit to much fruit. And then he said, henceforth, I call you no more servants. Because servants don't have any idea about the master's plan. And so henceforth, I call you no more servants, but friends. And when I get through with you, if you could take the fruit stage, and if you could take the more fruit stage, and the much fruit stage, and see it cut back and not get a horrible attitude and lose your faith in God. He said, I've got you. You ain't just going to be a servant. You better hear me. You ain't going to be just a servant. You're going to be a friend of God. And the Bible says, I got a promise for you. I got a promise for you. I'm going to prophesy to you. I'm going to tell you that if you can hang in there, if you can stick it out, are you hearing me? If you hang in there, it'll be fruit, more fruit, much fruit, cut back. And God said, you're going to be a friend, and your fruit shall remain. If you get a right attitude, if you get worship in your heart, amen, the purging is going to be over. And God said, I'm going to give revelation to my friends. I'm going to tell you what my plans are. And your fruit is going to remain. Let's love him right now. Come on, let's love him right now. Woo! Hear the word of the Lord. For I have brought you out of Pentecostal church through fruit. And I have brought you through more fruit. Yea, and I would say to thee, I have brought you to much fruit. And there are times when you have not understood the purging, and you have not understood the cutting back. I would say unto many of you that have suffered loss in this congregation, you don't understand the purging or the cutting back. But I, the Lord, am telling you that I am turning you from servants into friends, because I do not reveal unto servants my plans, but I reveal to my friends, like I did Abraham, what I'm getting ready to do. And I'm going to give you revelation about what I'm going to do to this city. I'm going to give you revelation about what I'm going to do to this region. I'm going to give you my plan, and ye shall no more be servants, but friends. And I say unto thee, this day there is a breakthrough, and there is a breaking of chains through the power of staying connected to the vine that is my blood. And your fruit shall remain. Your fruit shall remain. So go to the highways and go to the byways, said the Lord. Tell them about the goodness of my vine in your life. Tell them about your connection, and I shall bring fruit through you, and it shall remain. It shall no more be cut back. It shall remain. I say unto thee, it shall no more be cut back, but it shall remain. Worship me, saith the Lord. Come on. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's reach into that river of anointing. Hallelujah. Come on. Man, if you're waiting on music, you missed the cue. Woo, you missed the cue. Hallelujah. Is there anything in you that wants to just get as close to the presence as possible? Is there anything in you that just cannot live without getting close to the connect point? Come on. He said, I'm the vine, you're the branches. He's not talking about authority and who's boss. He's talking about who you're connected to. And the same thing that flows through him flows into the branch. Come on, let's continue to love him, would you? Oh, I've come to tell you today, your fruit's going to remain. Your fruit's going to remain. Your fruit is going to remain. Your fruit is going to remain. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Come on, let's continue to love him and reach for him. Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Sister Katie, your victory's not going to come. It's going to come from within.
Hallelujah.
You made a statement that made more sense than what you even realized it made on Facebook. About not losing yourself. Because your victory is going to come from that Holy Ghost that's in you. Your victory is going to come because you're connected to the vine. And the victory that flows through him is connected to you. How many other people can we understand? Can raise your hand and say, I understand that? I'm connected to the vine. I'm connected. I'm connected. I'm connected. Praise the name of the Lord. Let's reach out to him. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Come on, can somebody just sing hallelujah to it? Just sing it. Hallelujah. 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 Ought to be a song in your heart. There may not be any other words than hallelujah, but let hallelujah sing out of your heart and your lips. I'm speaking to somebody that may be hearing me far beyond the reaches of this audience, personally right here at OPC. And I'm telling you, stay connected. This ain't no time to sever yourself from the vine. I'm telling somebody that's hearing my voice, don't you quit now. Don't you quit now. Don't you sever the vine now. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. There's victory coming. Stay connected. Come on, OPC. Let's love him right now.